April, let me bring in my guest, Mr. Liu Zhiqin, Senior Fellow at the Chongyang Institute for Financial Studies at Renmin University of China. Well, great to have you with us, Mr. Liu. So, data shows that retail sales were up nearly 20% compared to last year, but compared to last month, the pickup was just 1%. What does this say about domestic consumption here in China?
We have to understand this difference or this figure in 2 points, in two factors. One factor is that the retail price compared in April and the last month. I think the price in April is a little bit higher than the last month. This is a major reason because of 0.5% in the daily necessities of the goods. So that's why I think the figure is lower than expected if we compare the figure last year or last month. And also, secondly, a very important factor is that the PPI in April is also much higher because of two reasons. One is that the international commodity price also greatly increased. Oil and mines and raw materials so increased. This has negative influence on the Chinese domestic market. And of course, the secondly is a very important factor is that the people buying the durable goods less than consumptible goods. That means that the durable goods still remain in the deficit or in the stock, not in the market. So people buy less house and cars and something. So this is also one major reason. That's why the PPI also increased in April. So from these two factors, that retail price a little slightly higher than last month, and the PPI also is much higher than the last month. If we compare the base of the same time as last month, we can see some difference from these two figures. But I think in the short time, this figure could be well improved.
Yeah, well, just very quickly, Mr. Liu, do you expect the figure to pick up significantly for May as the country celebrated the Labor Day holiday, and this is usually a time for a dramatic increase in spending?
Yeah, definitely. I think there will be greatly increased by the May. We normally always call the Golden May time. So this is a real holiday season. People traveled a lot and also they consumed all different goods in different areas. So we can see 2.4 million people traveled around the whole China. So they spend a lot of money also in May, in the first week and the first 10 days. So we see a great increase and the potential for May and June. Of course, in June and July, according to our record in the history, also these 2 months have a very good base for further consumption.
Let me also ask you this, Mr. Liu. The National Bureau of Statistics says that China's foundation for economic recovery is still not solid yet, despite the rebound and the optimism. Explain to us what this means and what challenges does China still face in its economic recovery?
I believe that the major challenge comes from outside of China because we see the pandemic outbreak in some major countries, especially in Western countries in Europe, are still under tough control. So they have less time and efforts to improve, to upgrade their economic recovery because the supply chain and the industrial chain are still under restructuring according to the situation. So that's why China will face a sharp and serious challenge from the outside. The international market, if the stagnation, I think this will have a negative impulse for China's recovery. But we have to pay more attention, to pay more efforts to promote, to stimulate domestic consumption. This is the major driving force for China in the near future, not only in the 2 months, but also in the next 2 or 3 years. China should rely on our own consumption.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Liu Zhiqin, for your analysis. Appreciate it.